A lot of pressures on workforce. A lot of talk about this in the media. So you're right. We did touch on it in terms of giving people opportunities, being open to them being mobile within a business, and just I think continual improvement and the opportunity for people to train and develop. So when I was at GE Capital, I mean, they were just absolutely first class at leadership development and just employee development. You know, they had a whole university campus at Crotonville that was specifically dedicated to this, and they were just, you know, thought leaders. The amount of leaders, you know, that were produced, and you got to work with some real, you know, A players. But that filtered right the way down to, you know, people coming new into the business, people just starting their careers. And not every company can set up their own kind of campus and leadership university, but there's so many resources out there that can be tapped into, you know, whether it's free or whether you have people come in and help, and just afford people, or even make it mandatory, not so much mandatory, but, you know, really push people to show some continued development. And yeah, we touched on working on different projects and initiatives. You know, that can be online learning, it can be accreditations, professional qualifications, um, it can be secondments. Um, in a previous role, kind of worked to my detriment if I look at my own team, but it was actually the net effect and the net impact was exactly what we were going for. Um, there was a guy working in my team, and he was kind of like an internal sales support guy. And he was getting bored, and you could see that. And he was, you know, he had so much more development and scope to grow into, that in the role that he was in, I couldn't give that to him because it was quite a defined role. So we seconded him over to another part of the business in a sales role, and quickly developed him over 2 or 3 months into, you know, client facing, doing meetings, effective questioning, um, um, objection handling, all of those kind of things, but just a greater peripheral view as well of the business and a different part of the business and how it impacted. So the kind of the bit for me that could have gone a little bit better was that he never came back. The manager hired him as a permanent hire after his secondment, so I had to go out and hire somebody else that I could bring into the role. But it actually worked out much better because I was able to hire a person that had a stretch within that role for them. We got them into the team, and he enjoyed a very successful you know, ongoing career in the role that he had grown into. But that's about, you know, looking at your team, deploying them in the best way for the business and for them. And, you know, he was a guy who probably would have been looking around the job market, I suspect, because he was just getting so bored. But he's a good guy. We managed to keep him in the business, and yeah, I'm sure he'll have many more happy years there.
I think you've touched upon.
Yeah, well,
sorry, Moo, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go.
I was just going to.
I've got a question related to this.
I was just going to say there. I mean, it's very apparent and a real bit of gold there. I think for any leader out there, doing the right thing. And the right thing at that point, even if it may have caused a little bit of disruption for you and your team, was doing the right thing for that team member. You know, you identified that he was a little bit bored, that he wasn't stretched, so you gave him an opportunity to fulfill his potential in another part of the company. And okay, that a little bit of disruption from your end, but I'm sure that was very much noticed and appreciated, not just by him, but by also the other team members that understood that you had their back in that moment and that you would do the right thing for them.